Hi everyone, welcome back to this video series on creating a NIM package browser in Ember.js. My name is Sean Goresh, and in the last video we created a loading animation for the main application when it's fetching all of the packages. In this video we will add some basic styles to the table as well as the banner. First thing we'll do is we will add some styles to the headers on the table. Let's add some padding, make it bold, and also add some spacing. So let's do that quickly in the editor. With the headers all styled, let's now continue and style the actual caption for the table. So let's make it right aligned, let's maybe make it italic, and let's give it a little bit of spacing as well. Now let's go back to the editor and apply those styles. Next, we'd like to add some fonts to the actual page, so we will use the Roboto font for this. And just grab that from the Google Fonts API site and bring that into the CSS of the application. Now the last step in applying this font will be to add it to the body as a main font family. And now when we refresh, we can see that the changes have taken effect. Now let's style the banner. First, let's add some padding to the actual banner. Then we can add some color to it and make it white. Now we'll choose a reddish color for the actual background. And finally, we can size up this font here to make it big, nice, and prominent. Now let's just copy those styles over to the editor. And of course, we'll have to add those class names to the actual markup. So we had a title and a header, so we'll add the styles to those. And the banner itself had some padding, which we'll add, as well as border blocks to ensure that the padding doesn't force the element to go outside the bounds of the document. Now we can make this a little bit modular by adding some variables. So now that we've done the header, let's take a look at the actual table itself. I'd like the table to be centered, and I'd like for it to not take up the entire page and have a max width. To do this, all I need to do is set a max width on the container, as well as set the margin to auto for left and right. And while we're at it, let's add some extra padding to each of the cells to give them more breathing room. Now let's move on and add some color to the actual headers themselves. We'll set the actual background color of the table headers to a purplish color. We can use a trick in Stylus to automatically decide which color to use, whether black or white, depending on the actual background color that the person chooses for the component itself. Finally, we'd like to allow the user to sort by each of the properties, and to do that we'd like to provide an animation on each of the table headers. So we'll get started with that by adding opacity to each of the table headers. Then we can add a transition on each of those properties so that it can be animated. And we'll just go ahead and adjust the variable names to reflect that change. Now going back to the table headers, I can see that the transitions are taking effect on the opacity. But one thing I notice here is that the actual color is wrong. So perhaps we didn't do that correctly. We'll probably have to change the color of the table headers. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just switch around the white with black for now, and that should do the trick. And now that we've applied some padding to all the table cells, we can just remove the padding on the header cells themselves. Finally, let's apply some styles to the actual anchor tags, the links, that we see in the table so that it matches the same accent color that we initially applied to the table headings. So it looks like the anchor tags now have the proper colors, and they also have a bold color as well. I'd like to adjust the table header cells colors and the link colors. I feel those need to be a little bit darker or maybe accented a little bit more. So we'll just head back over and make those colors maybe the reddish color just throughout the entire application. That should do the trick. Heading back over now to the application, we can see that everything's the color that we specified, the same reddish color, and it's all set throughout a variable, which is awesome. So that's about it. I think that covers this entire tutorial. In this tutorial, we styled our entire application, just gave all the tables a nice look and feel as well as the headers. So hopefully that helped, and in the next video, we'll be looking at doing the sorting on all of the table headers and the logic for that.